this month, on average, 5 men will die under controlled circumstances, at planned time and place. The same amount of time, a group of 500 other people will also die. The deaths of the first 5 men who perished could have saved at least 40 of the second group. The first 5 were convicted murderers executed in American prisons. The 40 were critically ill patients in American hospitals. Now, I am a student of science and an ordinary, rational, free-thinking person. I'm going to demonstrate that recovering organs from executed prisoners would be valuable, feasible, and save lives. And first, the value of organ donation is quite obvious. Just from a normal, nominally healthy donor, at least 8 lives can be saved by the solid organs collected from the donor. Let's see, the heart, the pancreas, the liver, and the small intestine can all be split between 4 people, as can the kidneys and the lungs. Less vital organs, such as tissues such as blood vessels, bones, skin, and more experimental transplanted organs such as the larynx, limbs, and undamaged portions of the face can improve up to 50 more lives. Now, let's look at some of the numbers. In the United States, every year, 60 people on average are executed. Same amount of time, 6,000 died waiting for a transplant. Now, in the best case scenario, assuming every prisoner could be harvested for the maximum amount of organs and to the maximum amount of recipient patients, say roughly 480 lives. Life's rarely so perfect, and for a more pessimistic estimate, let's say that only half the prisoners were able to be subjected to organ recovery, and only half the patients actually survived the procedure. Still over 100 lives saved. Unfortunately, in the current American system of capital punishment, almost no organs and tissues can be recovered. Why? Simply put, our methods of execution too badly damage the bodies. Lethal gas and lethal injection contaminated with poisons, electrocution literally cooks it. Hanging in the firing squad, while more physically benign, require too much of a length of time between death and organ recovery to salvage anything but the non-vital tissues. No. A new, more controlled method of execution would be required to facilitate organ recovery. Now, the obvious, simplest way would be to simply heavily anesthetize the prisoner, then recover the organs as you would from a brain-dead donor. However, due to certain ethical considerations of many medicos, this would be impractical. Next best solution would be to physically destroy the brain of the prisoner, bringing about swift death. There are several methods of accomplishing this. First, execution by firearms. People's Republic of China uses a hollow point 7.62 millimeter rifle bullet from an AK-47 fired at close range to the back of the skull. These are the terminal ballistics of a normal 7.62 millimeter bullet. Hollow point would have ballistic effects more like this or this. I have seen photographs confirming that indeed in the Chinese executions, most of the tissue from this point up is simply obliterated. I doubt the condemned would even have time to hear a gunshot, much less feel pain. Now, a more and effectively similar yet more refined method, the captive bolt pistol. Developed for use in modern slaughterhouses, is simply a pneumatic, hydraulic, or explosively fired bolt or spike is retractable, fired at high speed into the brain of an animal, causing massive damage and completely eradicating the ability to feel or think. Now, there are other ways, of course. Human brain is inherently a fragile organ, and quote Petrarch, the minds of man are ingenious in learning the pernicious arts. However, because of the cruel irony that some of the most quick and painless ways to die are also the most gruesome, they may be somewhat impolitic. However, luckily enough, there are less overt methods that are just as effective and humane. Author Stuart Kretsch suggests nitrogen asphyxiation. Nitrogen gas, which makes up 80% of the atmosphere, when breathed in by a human would cause quick and painless death. Mr. Kretsch noted in his National Review article, Killing with Kindness, in September 1995, due to a quirk of human physiology, the uncomfortable drowning sensation humans experience when going without air is not due to a lack of oxygen. It is because the body senses a buildup of carbon dioxide in the bloodstream. Inhaling nitrogen gas, a human would continue to expel carbon dioxide freely and not notice their terminal lack of oxygen until they'd already lost consciousness. Brain death would swiftly follow, but leave the rest of the organs relatively healthy. Now, I should note that these aren't fanciful pipe dreams or mere conjecture. They have happened and continue to happen to the present. According to Paul Wallich of Scientific American in March 1996, Red China, of the 3,000 to 20,000 executions they perform annually, is able to recover the organs of at least 2,000. And in the United States, Cary Gilmore, after he was executed by firing squad in 1977, had both corneas removed and was successfully transplanted into 2 waiting patients, restoring their vision. This incident was memorialized in the cult classic song, Looking Through Gary Gilmore's Eyes. Now, I've demonstrated we have the means, we have the technology, and we have the raw materials to accomplish such a program as I've outlined. But do we have the will? Well, according to Michael McCarthy, in an article published in the Lancet Journal on the 4th of last month, 64% of Americans polled support the death penalty, and at least 21% said they'd be willing to aid in an execution themselves. In short, unless there is a sea change in American society, capital punishment will be a fact of life. As long as it is, these 60 people are dead. There's no stopping that. But hundreds of these people still have a chance. As long as executions continue, they present a unique opportunity to gain a priceless medical and humanitarian resource. The worst tragedy would be to simply let that slip through our fingers.